You probably didn't notice it, but something strange is happening. The United States is suddenly paying more attention to Malaysia. Not China. Not India. Malaysia. And barely anyone is talking about why. Behind the scenes, US officials are visiting more often. American companies are investing in Malaysian factories. Even the US military is increasing its presence in the region, quietly. So what's really going on? Before we dive in, only about 5% of you watching this are actually subscribed. If you enjoy calm, curiosity-based videos like this, go ahead and hit that button. Let's explore this together. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Why is the US suddenly so interested in Malaysia? The first and most obvious reason is geography. Malaysia is located right next to the Strait of Malacca, one of the most important trade routes in the world. About 1/3 of global trade passes through that narrow body of water. Oil, gas, electronics, raw materials. Everything moves through there. If that route ever got blocked or attacked, the effects would ripple around the planet. And America knows it. But geography is just the beginning. Another major reason is that Malaysia is quietly becoming a better alternative to China. For years, the US relied on China for manufacturing, raw materials, and electronics. But now, tensions are rising between the two countries. There are trade wars, technology bans, and even military threats. So what are US companies doing? They're slowly shifting away from China, and Malaysia is becoming a top choice. Big names like Intel, Tesla, and Apple are moving parts of their supply chain to Malaysia. The reason is simple: Malaysia has skilled workers, political stability, a good location, and it's not too expensive. It's like a safe version of China, at least from the American point of view. But there's an even deeper reason the US is watching Malaysia. Malaysia plays both sides. It trades with China, but also with the US. It buys tech from South Korea and military equipment from Europe. It has economic ties with India and strong religious connections to the Middle East. In a world where most countries are pressured to pick a side, east or west, Malaysia chooses to stay in the middle. And that's exactly what makes it valuable. From the US point of view, Malaysia is a perfect bridge. It can speak to both sides. It can open doors diplomatically. And it helps the US maintain influence in a region that China is trying to dominate. That's rare and powerful. What do you think? Is Malaysia being smart by staying neutral, or is it risky to sit in the middle? There's another reason the US is suddenly focusing on Malaysia, and it has to do with technology. Right now, there's a global race over microchips and semiconductors. These tiny chips power everything from smartphones to satellites. And believe it or not, Malaysia plays a huge role in that industry. It doesn't make the chips, but it helps test, package, and assemble them. That final step is essential. Without Malaysia's factories, global tech would slow down. In fact, some American military systems, including defense tech, rely on components processed in Malaysia. That's why in 2023, top US officials came to Malaysia to secure partnerships in the semiconductor supply chain. Malaysia is now one of America's most important backup plans, especially if tensions rise further in Taiwan. But there's one last angle to this. Malaysia is a Muslim-majority country. And unlike some other Muslim nations, it's politically stable, economically active, and not openly hostile to the West. That makes it a useful partner. When the US wants to send messages to the Muslim world, Malaysia is often the calm, respected voice in the room. That gives it soft power, influence that isn't loud, but still matters. So when you put it all together, trade, tech, geography, diplomacy, and neutrality, you start to see the full picture. Malaysia isn't just another country in Southeast Asia. It's a key piece in the global puzzle. The US knows it. China knows it. And quietly, both are trying to win Malaysia's trust. The big question is, how long can Malaysia stay neutral? Will it be forced to choose a side in the future? That's what we'll talk about in the next video. If you made it this far, thank you. You're part of the 5% that really thinks deeply. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and tell me in the comments, should Malaysia stay neutral forever, or pick a side before it's too late?